Hello, good evening and welcome to mini make number 2 for 2024. So if you are watching this on the replay, this is a live recording of a quick and easy mini make, and today we're going to be making 4 greetings cards, so you can do any design you want and they can have any greeting you want. The same technique applies to everything, so you could absolutely use this for making quick and easy Christmas cards. That would be no problem at all. But you could equally use them for multiples of any kind of card that you're wanting. So if you're wanting to stock up ready for next year and make lots of birthday cards, or I'm going to be making thank you cards tonight, because we always give lots of thank you cards after Christmas, just to say thanks to people for our presents things. So let me just check that we are live in the right place to start with. Yep, looking good. And let me just get this one up so I can see any comments. If you join me at all during the make today, then do pop on and say hi in the comments. That would be fantastic, so I know who's here, and really love to know if you're making along as well. So as I said, we're going to be making 4 greetings cards. So this is like a multiple make all in one go. Really quick, really easy. You can use it for any design. So what do you need? Okay. So you're going to need 1 A4 sheet of white cardstock. You're going to need 2 coloured sheets of A4 cardstock. And out of those 2 sheets, which are going to be your base cards, you're going to be able to make 4 cards out of that. So that's just 3 pieces of card. You're going to need a ruler and a pencil, a trimmer, or something to cut the card up into, to chop it up. So you don't need, there's no fussy cutting at all, nothing like that. So you won't need scissors or anything. And then some stamps, and I'll show you the stamp sets that I'm going to be using in a minute. But I think you'll be surprised that actually you can use lots of different stamp sets. They don't have to be for the season that you're doing the card for. So I've got a stamp set, for example, that is absolutely nothing to do with Christmas, and yet I'm doing festive themed kind of card design. You'll need some ink pads and blocks, and some glue, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around and then show you some samples, and then we'll get making. Okay. Okie dokie. So this is, you may remember this from the 30-day Christmas card making challenge. This was one of the cards that I shared on the 30-day Christmas card making challenge. And I don't know if you can just see, there's a little bit of a shimmer on those berries as well. They are kind of white coloured berries, but there's just a little bit of Wink of Stella shimmer on there as well. So this is where I kind of got the inspiration from, was when I made this card, which I just stamped with a piece of leftover white cardstock actually. But if you multiply this idea up, then you can do 4 all in one go. So I will show you. So we've got this one. That's one. Actually, let's put them how they will go on the piece of white card. So you've got 1, and then you've got a second one. So I think that one goes probably down there, maybe. In fact, let's turn them round so that it's a bit easier on the, get them easier on the piece of paper. And you'll get the idea in a moment, because as you can see, this is one design. This one is number 3. So I could put that one down there. And then this one is number 4. And again, I've actually added some Wink of Stella on the red berries here. So hopefully you can see from that, this isn't an exact match actually. I've probably got them in the wrong order, but that doesn't matter. The idea is that the 1 sheet of white card that you start with, so if I put that over the top there like that, you stamp across the centre lines in both directions and then chop it up, and you can get 4 complete cards out of it. Does that make sense? Now you can also do it, you can do it like this in a traditional kind of cross, or you can do it diagonally as well, and you will also get beautiful cards if you make them diagonally as well. And this is why you can do it using to create any kind of season of card. So let me show you the stamps that I'm going to be using, because as I said, I think you'll be quite surprised at what's actually on here. So I am going to be using, this one is kind of an obvious. In fact, let me bring one of the cards in so you can see as we're going along. So from this set, I've used this kind of bit of fern, and I've used the holly and the little berries as well. So that's what I've used out of this set. Then I've got, where we go next? Don't think I did use the thanks out of that one. I used the thanks out of this one on there. But also, can you see those splatters? Splatters are fabulous, as are lots of little stamps for filling in the gaps in your design. So I also used the splatters from this set, and this is the Thoughtful Wishes set, so it's nothing to do with Christmas at all. I also used these little fronds here from the Country Bouquet, which is a Valentine's set. Can you believe it? Valentine's on a Christmas card. So can you see that little one there is the dark green, and that little one there is the lighter green colour. And then finally, on some of the cards, I used that thanks from the Simply Said suite. So basically what I'm saying is grab a load of stamp sets and see what you've got in them. Stamp sets that have little designs like this one would be perfect, because you've got a little heart, some leaves, the fronds, a whole little bouquet, little more hearts. This kind of stamp set is perfect, but what makes it a really interesting make is if you grab a few and make up your own design out of a few different stamp sets. So onto the colours. So I'm using Real Red, Old Olive, I'm using Garden Green and Cajun Craze for these cards. But again, you can just grab a load of your favourite colours. So I did actually toy with the idea of making this second pack of 4 cards in blues and purples and maybe silvers as well. So, you know, you can really go to town in terms of the colour scheme. It doesn't have to be traditional. You can make it exactly what you want. So let's get all these bits out of the way. And what you want to start with is your piece of plain white A4 cardstock. That's where you want to start, okay? And you're going to draw a very, very, and I mean very, very faint line to give you that cross in the white card to start with. So we know that the centre of this is 14.9. So I'm going to have a little, just a tiny little mark. And then I'm going to draw the faintest of faint lines, because I don't want it to show up. Now, obviously, you could, I mean, you can hardly see that at all, can you? You could obviously rub it out with a rubber if you want to, but I didn't really want to worry about that. And then it's 10.5. This is all centimetres, by the way, this particular one. Obviously, you can measure it however you want, in inches as well if you want to. Doesn't matter, you're just going half and half. So as faint a faint line as you possibly can. And then you're going to stamp from this centre cross where the 2 lines dissect, you're going to stamp outwards, okay? So you're going to start in the centre and you're going to stamp out that way, like a sun ray really, outwards, and then along the lines, but either side of the line. So you can stamp on top of the line, absolutely fine, not a problem at all. But also really good if you cross over, if you do either side of the line as well. So just grab one of your inks to get started. So I'm going to start with the Cajun Craze, which is this kind of browny colour. And I'm going to start with the kind of pine effect kind of bit. So the best thing to do is start with your largest stamp. So the largest image you've got, start with that one. Start in the centre, as I said, and start by creating a bit of a kind of sun ray out from that central meeting place. Okay. And you do want to kind of come into the white, into each of the 4 kind of squares a fair bit. And then you're going to go along the lines. You can cross over them, but you're basically going along them. And you want to go right to the edges as well. So if you stamp over onto grid paper or patterned paper or whatever you've got, scrap paper, whatever you've got underneath your white card. And this is one of those cards, one of those projects that kind of comes together as you're going along, and you'll kind of get more towards the end and kind of go, oh wow, now I can see it. So don't be afraid that when you're looking at it to begin with, you think, oh, I can't see how this is even going to work. This just looks too random. Trust me, it will work. So once you've done that first stamp, that's really helpful as well, because it helps you to see where those lines are actually going to be. Then you can get rid of that ink pad. So as you go along, make sure you close the ink pads and get them out of the way, because otherwise you'll find you get splodges. Now, you can see that there's a little bit of ink there, a little splodge. Do not worry about that, because you can either cover it up with a stamped image if it was close into your design, or you can put a bit of bling on top. So don't worry about making kind of any mishaps with the ink. It won't matter. So next I'm going to go for my holly leaves. And I'm just going to go kind of in between and around. Now don't forget, you've got loads more images to come, so you don't need to completely and utterly fill the page at this point. You're just kind of evenly spacing them. If you miss a bit like that, where you've kind of just, the stamp didn't quite go down, doesn't matter, because you're going to cover it up later on with other stamps, so it absolutely doesn't matter. Also quite good if you kind of go over, you know, you actually stamp over the top of some of these other stamps as well. That's fine too. But you're just following the pattern again. So you're following that line down from the centre out to the edges. In a fairly kind of random way. Just kind of filling in without going too over the top with it. You can kind of turn the stamp around as well if you want. If you think you want a particular bit of the pattern or whatever, just turn it around. Okay, I'm just cleaning these off as I go. Nothing too big a deal. Okay, then, so next I'm going to go for these 2 little images, but I'm going to do them one at a time. So I could actually put them together like that and stamp them together, but I'd like different colours. So I'm going to take the one off and just start with the one to start with. So I'm going to stick with the same green, and then I'm going to change to a different, the different colour green. So this is still garden green at the moment. And this point you can kind of start to see, if you've got a bit of a blob, then you can start to stamp over the top of those. And you're just starting at this point to fill in the design, but not overwhelming it, not completely filling it in, just starting to fill in those gaps a little bit. Make a bit of a inroads into the actual white spaces themselves without going completely mad. And obviously you can go back if you feel it needs a bit more coverage, then you can go back if you need to. So that's that one. So we'll go now for the smaller one. So let's get rid of this garden green. If you're making along with me, what sets are you using? What stamps are you using? What type of card are you making? Do share, I would love to know. So we're now on to Old Olive and really starting to fill the design in a bit now. So just making sure that I'm going for all the gaps in the design. Whoops. We'll fill that one in then. Make sure that one gets a nice inked image. So yeah, do let me know if you're joining in. I'd love to know what set are you working with, what kind of design are you going for, you know, what kind of cards you're going for. Are you doing birthdays? Are you doing Christmas cards, thank yous like me? What are you up to? I would love to know. The great thing about this as well is all your stalks don't all need to join up, because you've got two more. I've got two more different stamps to help with that coverage in a moment. And you will see it will make the world of difference when I get to that point. Okay, so I think that's probably enough of that one. Those two. And we will move the Old Olive out of the way. And I'm going to go for my berries next. So I want real red for the berries. So I've got a little cluster of 3 berries, which I'm going to put near the holly in as many of the places as I can. But if they don't fit with where the holly is, I am not going to lose sleep. I'm going to just put them where I think they naturally fit, where there's some natural holes in the design. Either side of the stalks and over the top, as you can see, of the other stamped images as well. It's so quick and easy this. It's a great way to make multiples of any kind of card design, it really is. So I think that's probably enough berries. And then my final stamp is I'm going to use my splatters. So I'm going to go back with my splatters to my Cajun Craze and use that one. And this is the point where you are filling in any gaps that you've got. Okay, so lightly add in ink and then just really filling in all the gaps that you've got in the design. So anywhere where you can see there's a little gap, add some splatters. Doesn't matter if it's going on top. You particularly want to cover over any of your pencil line that you can still see. Anywhere where you didn't quite stamp, the stamp didn't quite take. Anywhere where there's any kind of white in that main kind of central design. Anywhere like that, where it looks like there's a bit of a hole, add some splatters or whatever your equivalent is going to be. You might have raindrops, or you might have little hearts, or it could be anything really. But just make sure you're kind of covering that white. I'm just trying to make your design vaguely symmetrical, and I really mean vaguely. I don't mean go to town on measuring it or anything daft like that. Just vaguely. Balanced, I think, is the word. Not symmetrical, actually. It's just about getting that balance, really. In terms of kind of the depth of your design. I don't want to put one there, actually. I'm hovering over the top, but I really don't want to. Right. I think we are nearly there. Just going to go a bit more out into the design with these. So we've got a bit more depth there. Okay. I'm going to stop, or it's going to go too mad. Okay. So, well, I'm just going to check, because I've got another few stamp sets that I just wanted to see if any of these would also work for. So I've got this one here, which is from a really old kit, the birthday card kit. And I've got, see these little tiny wheels here that are like, it's kind of like a little, I don't even know, it's like a starburst almost. That kind of stamp would be perfect. If I have the space, what else have I got? I've got this one is from last year's Christmas card set from the kit, and it's got a little star, look, just a little hand-drawn star. That equally would be perfect. This one, there we go, is from this year's Christmas card kit, and these branches, again, would be perfect in any of these kind of designs. So if you're stuck for these tiny little stamps, then don't hesitate to go back to some of your kits and the stamp sets that you had in your kits and just see if there's anything in there that you can use. Okay, now comes the magic. So we're going to bring in the trimmer, and we're now going to chop this into 4 pieces. So we're going at 10.5 centimetres, which is straight down the middle of your design. Perfect. And again, 14.9 centimetres. And look, you can already see, ooh, lovely, different designs. So 10.5 and 14.9. And then the next thing you need to do is you do need to make them so that they are first layer size. So you are going to have to trim off a little bit again. So obviously I'm not going to trim off any more of the design. I'm going to trim off the edges. So to get this first layer size, I'm going 14.3 and 9.9 centimetres. But it is important that you chop it into 4 first before you then cut off the edges, because you want the maximum amount of your design to be left. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's keep going round. So 9.9 on the short side by 14.3 on the long side, and obviously all in centimetres again. These don't have a right and a wrong way up, of course, so you will be able to decide which way is the right way up when you come to assemble them as cards. So 14.3, 9.9, just taking a little sliver off so that when you then mount them onto the card, you get that little border around the outside, which will make all the difference in terms of neatness. Also really helps if you haven't stamped right to the edge, like here, look, quite a bit of white there. Chop it off. Oh look, all of a sudden the design goes right to the edge and off the edge, which is what you're looking for in terms of it looking lovely and professional. Okay, so you've got all these little slivers that you can now get rid of. You don't need to keep those. Shove those in the bin there. And then the next thing you're going to do is to cut your actual card bases. And again, to make this super quick and easy, you can do both pieces together at the same time. So I'm going to make sure that they're together. And then the first thing that I'm going to do is with the short side at the top, I'm going to put it in at 10.5 and score all the way down. Now make sure you press really firmly when you score, because you're scoring through the 2 pieces of card. And then again, making sure you've got it really tight together, those 2 pieces. You're cutting at 14.9 with the long side at the top. And again, press down nice and firmly so you get a really clean cut, and instantly you have 4 card bases. Got red and a green, and a red and a green immediately, which is brilliant. So let's fold those over and crease them. So just making sure you line up the edges, fold and crease, line up those edges, fold and crease. Now, of course, you can also, as I did on my original card, this one, you can add an extra layer if you want to. So this one is on a cinnamon cider base, and then I've got a basic grey layer before I go to the white layer. So you can add more layers if you want to. Completely up to you in terms of what design you're looking for, really. And how much card you're willing to use, really, as well. Do you want to use that much card, or are you not feeling that generous with the amount of cards you want to go for? It's handy if you've got a colour that you want to use up as well and you want to get rid of, you can layer it. Right, there we go. So I've got my 4 card bases. So let's put those out, and then we can decide which way we want to go with them. So I quite like it that way up, actually. So I'm going to have one like that. I quite like that one that way up as well, actually. So let's go for another one that way up. This one, I think I might go that way. So I may have to turn one of these round in a moment. Got to have one that is portrait, I think. Let's think. I mean, this is the great thing, is that you can just turn them round and see what you think, what you fancy. Actually, let's go. Well, that's another red one. Let's go. Because this, if you're making packs of cards for presents as well, this is a really great way to make a pack of cards as well, really easily. So you can really kind of change how the design looks by just turning the card around. I might put a sentiment over that bit where I dropped the ink pad, possibly. I don't know. Or I may go with that way round. Or this. Let's go with that way round, I think. Actually, then we've got one of each, kind of each way up, haven't we? Let's try that. Okay, so the next thing to do is to add your sentiments. And as I said before, I'm going with a thank you sentiment for these, because I want some thank you cards for after Christmas. So let's go with, I quite like the thanks, the thank you on there. If you want if you've got quite a lot of white space, then going with a really large sentiment. Again, like I did on this one, I've got that season's greeting sentiment. That really works as well. Or if you've got a sentiment that's got lots of words to it, I mean, the peace on earth one would be good here. Sometimes you'll have a sentiment that's got a lot to it, like the deck the halls or something, or a sentiment that's got a saying. Then those kind of sentiments work really well on these as well. So because you've got plenty of space to stamp it. So let's go with the thank you on there to start with. Go with the thank you on one each of the red and green, I think. So, and again, these cards can look really different depending on where you put the sentiment. So I'm going to put that one at the top. It's a bit wonky actually, but never mind. And this one down here. And then I think what I will do is add a larger sentiment to that one. So let's go for one of these. I know I was originally going to go with all thank you cards, but I think I'll go with Deck the Halls. I like that idea. No, that's Peace on Earth. Let's go with Deck the Halls on this one, I think. And then maybe Tidings of Comfort and Joy up here, perhaps. How about that? I'm going to use the real red for these two. So one. Bigger block for that one. Deck the Halls is too big. I'll have that one. I'm going to go bottom left for this one. There we go. Then it's just a case of gluing the white card fronts to the cards. So if you're going to hand deliver them, then it might look good with 3D pads as well. If you're putting them in the post, then do think about the cost of postage. How much bounce you have in the card will mean it might not go through that little slot that they shove your cards through in the post office, as I discovered only this week, thinking that my Christmas card I was giving was going to be absolutely fine, and it then didn't go through the slot, so I had to pay extra postage to send it. And by then I'd written it and I'd included my annual letter and all that, so I wasn't about to take it home and swap it for another card, so I ended up having to pay the postage, which is most irritating. Right, that's 2. So as I said, if you're doing, if you're selling packs of cards, or if you are going to give a pack of cards as a present, as I know some of you do, then this is a really great way to get loads of cards done in a really short period of time. Or if you just really want to do multiples, so Christmas cards is an obvious one. But equally, I know lots of people like to start the year with a load of birthday cards already made, or maybe if you're looking at perhaps mail designs, sometimes people prefer to make mail cards in multiples, so that you've always got one, or the kind of like a thank you. If you've got, if you always like to keep a thank you card ready to give, that's a good one to do as a multiple. Equally, sympathy cards, those kind of things are always good to have, just to have in ready, so that you've always got one to give should you need it. Okay, so I've got my 4 cards now all made up, and all I need to do now is add some bling. So I have literally rummaged through my drawers to find all my leftover bits of bling. So I've got these that are gold textured adhesive dots. This is from this year. I've got these in colour matte dots that are ancient, but I really like the pale green colour. These sparkly faceted gems, and then I've also got some flat matte dots as well. And then I've got these lovely ones as well from, these were last year's as well. These add a real bit of sparkle and shimmer. Different dimension as well, faceted gem trio. So I'm just gonna choose one of these and add some, and then a different one on a different card, and just keep going until I've got gems on everything. And again, I'm going to go for my usual of kind of odd numbers as well. So actually let me use my take a picture, and then I won't have to be fighting to get these off the card. So yeah, just going randomly in odd numbers so that they look a bit more natural. So that's that one. Let's go for, where should we have some greens or blues? Oh, well, actually I quite like these ones. Let's go with these. I quite like these. Gonna have some random ones, and then I'll have some sort of slightly more strategically placed ones in a moment. So randoms. And then do you remember we've got that little blob that we need to cover up? So let's find some that I can use on that one. Let's go with these. So I'm just literally gonna grab a dot and stick it over the top to cover it up. There we go. And then finally, I'm going to use these in colour ones. I like the pale green. I don't even know what colour this is actually, this pale green, but I like it, so we're going to use it. So if you have a go at making these projects, then afterwards, then I would love to see what you make. So do share. I'll take a photograph of my cards afterwards and stick a post in the in this group. And I would love to see your version of these cards. So please do share with me. That would be wonderful. So that we can all see the different designs. Yeah, fabulous. And using different stamps and things. So there we go. So there's, let me see if I can get all of them. Can I get all of them on here? There's my 4 that I've just made. And then we've got the 4 from before. I have to say, I made this 4 as well. Oh, I haven't added any Wink of Stella. I'm just going to add some Wink of Stella in a moment. These 4, I literally made these after I came home from work today, let me tell you. So that just goes to show how quick and easy they are to make, because I literally made them while tea was cooking, and we didn't have a particularly long-winded tea tonight, I can tell you. There you go, and there's the original one that I had. So really quick, so I've got 9 cards all ready to go in a matter of minutes, which is really fantastic. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella. So if you've not heard of Wink of Stella before, it's a glitter glue brush, but it's very, very, very fine glitter. So let me see, you might be able to see on that one. You can just see, if you look at the berries, you can probably just about make out that they're these berries down here as well, sparkling in the glitter. It's fantastic to add to anything that's snow, or you want to look sort of slightly frosted. It gives a really beautiful kind of shimmer to it. So yeah, Wink of Stella lasts for ages as well, I have to tell you. Also really good, in fact I'm going to do it now, on covering up your mistakes. So for these cards, I'm going to add my Wink of Stella to my green fronds instead of to my berries. And I'm just a little tiny squeeze at the end, and just add in a little bit, dobbing a little bit here and there. And there you go, can you see the shimmer there on those? Hopefully you can. It's quite difficult to see on my laptop that I've got by the side of me, but yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can see it picking out. So that, again, it's a great way to kind of cover up any little mishaps that you've had. So there you go. So let's just turn the camera around again a minute. There we go. Okay. So hopefully you enjoyed that little mini make. Super fast. Where are we? 7:38. So less than 3/4 of an hour, and we've got 4 brand new cards ready to go. So super quick and easy. Again, you can use it for any design, birthday, Christmas, whatever you want to. Okay, so what else have we got before Christmas? So we have the free online Christmas party on Thursday. If you have ordered a kit from me, you will have that kit by now, and you will be good to go. And there are treats in the kit, there are raffle tickets, you've got your bingo card, all the rest of it. If you weren't organised, I'm afraid it's too late now to book a kit, but you are very, very welcome to join us. There will be a card to make, that one there, which is really cool. It's a stepped diamond card. I think that's the right terminology for it. It's really good design, brilliant. I really love it. So I will share that one with you, quick and easy to make. And also somewhere around here you'll be able to see the design, I'm not going to tell you which one, for mystery stamping. So we are going to do a card using the mystery stamping technique as well. All you'll need to do is have a few pieces of card and paper cut out ready to go, and we will make up a beautiful Christmas card or greetings card with stuff that you've got from your stash at home. And if you're a bit nervous about doing mystery stamping, obviously you can sit and watch. Anybody can sit and watch and chat in the comments and stuff, and then you can make it afterwards if you want to, because these posts, these little videos all stay in the Facebook group, so you can always go back and redo it. Okay, so that's it for today. As I say, Christmas party on Thursday, and then our next mini make is next week, when we'll be doing a real wow explosion card and gift box all in one. So fabulous. Okay, see you again. Bye bye.